Psychological or emotional trauma is literally the worst thing you can inflict on another person. Literally. It's the worst thing that you can inflict on another person. And then after you inflict trauma, emotional or psychological trauma, or engage in the inflicting of psychological trauma or emotional trauma on someone, to act as if it didn't happen, is just as emotionally or psychologically traumatic as the initial events. You can't like years later be like, well, it's like motherfucker. Okay, I caught you in the alley and I jumped you, and I caused you irreversible damage, or at least damage that it took you years to motherfucking overcome. Physical damage it took you over years to overcome. And then later on, like, oh, I'm sorry for that physical damage and all of the rehab you had to go through as a result of my actions. Now, please forget that I was involved in the initial event that led to your physical trauma and the recovery period that led to it. That don't make no motherfucking sense. And a lot of motherfuckers think that they can be involved in inflicting emotional and psychological trauma and then like act like, oh, nothing happened. Emotional damage and psychological damage is realer in a sense than physical damage because it's not so seen, it's not so readily visible. So not only does the individual who suffers the inflict not does the person that suffers the individual affliction psychologically or emotionally suffer that affliction, that initial affliction, they deal with the residual effects of it that are just like underlined. They have to dig deep to realize, oh shit, I've been bruised. I've been deeply emotionally and psychologically bruised. And it's like, okay, if you came to my house as a kid and my mom was beating me, and he was like, hey, dude, that's funny. This guy's mom is beating him. Let me join in. Matter of fact, let me, help his mother beat him when she's not even around. And if he feels at any given time like he can liberate himself from his abuser, let me go help him be reconnected to his abuser. That's some evil shit. And I don't give a fuck how you think, where your life is now, how nice you are, how cool you are. Ain't got shit to do with me. The only thing that has to do with me as far as you are concerned is how you treated me. If you treated me like shit, but and did so in a lie, look, if I'm fucking starving to death and you know I'm fucking starving to death, and you call me over your house, knowing that I have to walk over your house about some supposed motherfucking group meeting, and know I'm that dedicated to the group that we're supposed to be working on that I'll show up. So I show up hungry. You know I ain't eating. You know I'm going through it bad. I've fallen. You can't wait to see me fall. I get over to your house and you scraping food into the trash. What? And there's no meeting. Not only are you scraping food into the trash, there's no meeting. Now, see, you might forget this incident. I'm not gonna forget this incident. So then, it's not only once you do this on a number of occasions to the point that I'm like, I'm not coming over there anymore. One time, you give me a fucking goddamn because I am starving, but only to the point of like a handout, like throwing some fucking trash at me. You give me a cheese and fucking goddamn scrambled egg sandwich, which is some fucked up shit. After scraping food into the trash in front of me after I just walked all the way over there. Another time you get me to do it, and this is like the last time I do it, I'm like, yo, bro, I'm kind of like going through it. I'm hungry. I done fed you when you was motherfucking hungry, brought you to my house and fed you, took you to Taco Bell when your mom wasn't motherfucking putting food in your mouth. Can I borrow 50 cents to get a candy bar? You gonna pull out a wad of 20s and say you got no motherfucking change. Yet you coming over my house, hopping my fence, knocking on my front door, walking in my house, eating what little food I have. Grabbing squirts and shit, grabbing motherfucking goddamn Twinkies. This is all the fucking food I got, my nigga. I done piled my house up with this little fucking preservable food because I can't get a refrigerator. You at my house eating what little food I am, but you got money in your pocket. You don't leave $1 behind. You just go on my shit, you don't even ask. You just go on my shit and start grabbing shit. See, you might forget this shit, but I don't forget shit like that. That kind of shit like that, I'm like, and see, the individual I'm talking about knows exactly who I'm talking about if he was to, be inclined to see this shit. You know exactly who I'm talking about. Those are just 3 occasions in which I can name you did some really fucked up shit that no friend would do. And really kind of ended our friendship. Not to mention like, I mean, this motherfucker said I'd take my shirt off his back for him and he knew that shit. This motherfucker couldn't buy me a motherfucking order of french fries when I was hungry. And I got witnesses. You couldn't buy some order of french fries when I was hungry. But I also got witnesses that when you was hungry, I was feeding you every fucking day when you were hungry. You come into my house crying, I haven't eaten this shit, oh God. Oh, and then you come to my house, eat. Oh, ain't nothing at my house, I'll go take you to Taco Bell. You don't remember that shit though, nigga, huh? That part. See, I expect the same type of friendship I put out, I expected to get it back. I'm a friend. I tell niggas that. Hey, nigga, I'll be your best friend. Fuck me and I'll be your worst enemy. And don't get mad that you decided to motherfucking play the part of fucking instead of like, hey, accepting the fact this is a good ass friend. And now a lot of niggas gonna be like, oh yeah, let's act like me and Alton were friends all along. We was buddies and we was cool and shit. And we was comrades and all that other shit. And we was in nigga, if we was all that, nigga, we all be famous right now. If that was the case, we all be famous right now. We was that cool. We wasn't. Niggas set up other motherfucking goddamn flying monkeys to be involved. It ain't nowhere to be safe now, my nigga. It's not. Facebook is not a safe place. Smoozing up the friends that we have that we are both cool with doesn't mean that you're not cool. And I'm not gonna be gaslighted out by saying what I need to be said, what needs to be said about you. Your other friendships does not determine how much of a friend or not friend I'm gonna be. I mean, or how much I am or not gonna say. And see, niggas do that too. They like to shield themselves behind mutual friends. Or I'm gonna hide myself behind the fucked up shit I did to you, behind the cool relationship I have with this person. But if you motherfucking goddamn scratch a liar, you'll find a thief. I scratch a thief, you find a liar. That part.